What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. AJ here with East to West Reacts. Doing something special today. Wanted to go ahead and respond to a challenge by Nya D, Hemmingz, one of the Tower of God creators here in the community. Thanks for shouting me out in this and having me be a part of this. This one is going to be about a character in Tower of God that you can relate to. There's been a bunch of these. A lot of them are really fun. They really make you think and really make you evaluate these characters that you just read and dig a little deeper. And this one, he was gracious enough to allow us to pick two, so thank you for that. That made it a lot easier, especially because it's really hard to just pick how do I relate to this character. And I was able to find two characters to do. One I kind of always have, and the other one was kind of something of a newfound relation, and it kind of made me get a little bit of empathy for this character, even though they're kind of a little heinous. Not even a little heinous, they are heinous when it comes to this series. So I'm going to get into those two. I'm going to probably ramble on these two, and I'm going to try and rein myself in, so we'll see how that goes. So the first one that I'm going to get into is Baylord Yama, and I've always kind of felt a connection with Yama after we learned about the makeup of his family, because he is the middle of three brothers, and like that I'm also the middle of three brothers. So right away I'm like, I like this guy, maybe we'll get to see a little bit of that dynamic, and we do. So that made me kind of it's kind of attached to him for jump. Yama is definitely one of my favorite characters, my favorite Slayer easily, so I can't wait to see what comes from him in this series. But how I really relate to Yama and the whole thing of being a middle child, it's a real thing for anyone who watches this, and if you are a middle child, you know what I'm talking about. It's a real sticky position in the whole family dynamic. You're old enough to know better, but young enough that some things aren't your fault, but it always doesn't go that way. You're really stuck in a hard place as the middle child. You can be, sometimes I've had friends who, though, they're forgotten, not me particularly, but they kind of feel forgotten by the family. They kind of become loners in the sense, so that's really why I always felt I always understood Yama and why he wanted to be a little solitary compared to some of the, with the canines and everything, and compared to his brothers. It's kind of just easier that way. You kind of just develop that sort of mentality. And also, personally speaking, that kind of relationship at being, having an older brother and younger brother, it's also kind of like a parent-child relationship. You feel like you're also the parent, with your younger sibling, but also a child with your older sibling, because you're learning from them as well. So that whole feeling, at least personally for me, made me kind of just develop the mentality to just, even though I wasn't, I just became the older sibling. So now, I go see my brothers. I'm not the oldest one, of course. We're all 4 years apart, amazingly enough. Shout out to my two brothers. But if you guys watch this, but I kind of developed a mentality of I kind of have to operate and act like the oldest brother, just to sort of get my that mentality, and sort of get I guess I always wanted to develop some sort of respect from them. So I kind of had to make myself kind of be the older brother there. So Yama, he took control of the family thing, the whole dynamics. I didn't steal my older brother away, and I didn't shoo my younger brother away, of course. But we've all had rocky relationships. Like I said, we're all kind of a couple years apart, so just enough to have some differences, but enough that we can get along. So we've had our rough patches and everything growing up. So we've gotten fights, of course, and arguments, but similar to the Baylord brothers. But as we grow, and as Yama has grown and learned more about his older brother, especially, like myself, I started to develop more sympathy and empathy with him. I started to relate with him a lot more, and we've found a middle ground, where it's like we're tighter than ever. So it took a while. We both had to grow there. And same thing with my younger brother. We always had our differences, but as we grow, I've always wanted the best for him. So I've always kind of wanted to like keep him like away from danger and whatnot. Yama was very kind of soft on Paul in the cage, to me. So I kind of always felt his reasonings for how he treated Paul the way he did. He never really saw him as a threat. He was kind of like, I'll put him down if I have to, but I don't want to have to kill my little brother if I don't have to. He was going to kill both of them. But I always understand now how Yama, how him and Doom have a better relationship. He's learned about the secrets that Doom was holding on to and everything with Yasracha and their father. So through that understanding, they're becoming real brothers now. They similar to Paul, even though I kind of like to see him come back in the story and develop that relationship with Yama as well. But yeah, that's a bit of a ramble, but that's kind of how I've always related with Yama. He wears that middle child, kind of pride on his sleeve. He's got to be the head of them all. It's kind of a mentality you just develop as a middle child, being the older sibling and the younger sibling at the same time. But I definitely felt a connection with him since day one there, and maybe I'll give a bigger video on Yama in the future, because I feel like he definitely deserves one. Maybe once we see a little bit more of a follow through and how he deals with Lopobia and everything, we know a little bit more about him, and what's kind of hidden inside of him. But yeah, so as far as Baylord Yama, middle childs, if you know, I'll try to give you a little bit of an insight right there. Hopefully you guys can pick that up. But the other person who I've really kind of developed some empathy for and some relation with is, I guess you can say it's one character, but White, Hopelin, and some of the other siblings that create the being that is White from the Yari family. So we know Hopelin and White's main drive for becoming who they were was simply to beat and surpass their father. So I'm not looking to beat and surpass my father. Well, not necessarily beat, but I do want to surpass my father. He views his father as the pinnacle. He puts him on such a high pedestal. There's so much respect. Like, I'm going to beat you one day. You are the golden life that I want to reach. And I have a great relationship with my father. He's a parent and a friend. And I've always looked up to him. He's the smartest guy I know, greatest guy I know. So I've always kind of seen him as my my pinnacle, my pedestal. So I've always wanted to kind of try to like live up to I guess you should say his greatness, and just at least be like half the man that I see him to be. So hopefully one day I'm gonna get there. We're on our way. But that's kind of why I've always I've kind of developed this empathy for Hopelin and White, because I too wanna get there. Now I'm not going to go ahead and do that by any means. I'm not going to go ahead and slaughter some kingdoms over it, but it makes you want to work harder. It definitely makes you want to put forth that much more effort to get to that pinnacle, that goal that you want to reach. So that's definitely how I've gone ahead and related to him there. And I'm sure a lot of people also can relate to this. You see if you have a good relationship with your parents and you see them as these great people, as I'm sure they are. You wanna get to kind of be the kind of person that you are. You want to make them proud that they raised you to be a great person. So hopefully you guys can relate to me there. but yeah, so that's kind of the two people that I've gone ahead and related to in Tower of God. Nya, thanks again for tagging me in this. Hopefully we get some more in the community. Maybe I'll think one myself, but there's been a lot of really good ones, so it's going to be hard to follow up. But shout out to everyone in the community. Shout out to everybody who goes ahead and watches this. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Keep an eye out for my reaction to Haku of the Tubes. He's got the character poll coming. He sent me some stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and try to react to that. And yeah, so keep an eye out for that. And peace out, everybody.